Hello friends, welcome to your favorite YouTube channel, Mr. Phonova. Less than a decade ago, foldable phones seemed like the stuff of science fiction, but in 2025, there are at least a dozen foldable phones available, even though only a few are readily accessible in the United States. Today's foldables typically fall into one of two categories: foldable phones that turn into tablets and flip phones that resemble traditional smartphones when unfolded, but feature a flip design reminiscent of phones from yesteryear. These niche devices certainly have a market, but they could become irrelevant in the not-too-distant future. Why? In a word, rollable phones could be the real endgame here. Let's take a look at what are the pros and cons of rollable phones and how do rollables compare to foldables. Judging by the prototypes we've seen so far, rollable phones may bring several advantages over foldables. For starters, all the working concepts shown feature a motorized mechanism to extend and retract the rollable display, either automatically or at the press of a button. Not only is there nothing to fold and unfold manually, you can have the screen unroll itself if the content on the screen calls for it, when watching a full-screen video, for example. Secondly, there's no need for a secondary cover display on a rollable phone because part of the flexible OLED remains visible and usable at all times. Meanwhile, the section tucked around the back can be used to show notifications. The lack of a folding mechanism also means there's no crease running down the middle of the screen. All of these advantages make rollable phones seem like a natural evolution of today's foldables. However, there are a lot of issues they have yet to address. As with foldable phones, the durability of rollable phones remains a concern. That motor-driven mechanism is bound to fail at some point, especially when complete water and dust resistance would be difficult to achieve. Having the flexible screen exposed constantly suggests that scratching it is practically inevitable. The hardware enabling the rolling action would take up space. As a result, thin rollables could be difficult to make, and fitting an adequately sized battery could be a challenge. For reference, the Techno Phantom Ultimate concept mentioned earlier is 10 millimeters thick, thinner than popular foldables, but thicker than a typical phone. All the added complexity would surely have an effect on the price. We can't see rollable phones being cheap, or at least not at first. Perhaps the best way to look at rollable phones and their potential arrival is with cautious optimism. Any company willing to launch an innovative product to questionable demand deserves praise for taking the risk, and we as consumers have only to benefit from having more options. And if rollables turn out to be a dud, we'll always have the familiar and safe bets like the Samsung Galaxy S25 series and its peers. So, are you excited for the next evolution? What do you think about the upcoming rollable phone from Samsung? Would you want to buy a rollable smartphone in the near future? Tell us in the comments. Stay tuned for the latest news and updates about Samsung's next phone, and make sure to share this video as you can. It's free. Don't forget to activate the bell, otherwise you may not receive the video notification when I upload. Thanks for watching.